Anointed warriors. What up, spiritual family? And welcome back to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Mongoose. If you're possibly tuning in for the first time, guys, please be notified right up front that I'm not your traditional type of minister, nor is this the traditional type of ministry. For more specific information about what I mean by that, please stay tuned to the end of the video. But for now, I'd like to again formally welcome you guys. I do appreciate the time, all the love, all the support, the attention that you guys give back to this ministry that you provide and that you nourish this ministry with. And of course, a special shout of love, thanks, appreciation, gratitude, all that good stuff goes out in a very special way to the longtime subscribers and supporters of the ministry. Having said that, hey, listen again, I do appreciate each and every last one of you guys. Thanks for helping me spread this message. Thanks for supporting the ministry, and may God bless you. May you receive an abundant harvest for doing so. Having said that, guys, we're going to jump right off into today's topic, where we're going to talk about three things that the chosen ones are going to always need to be. Regardless of the situation, regardless of the circumstances, the seasons, perhaps the mistakes that you've made, whatever the case may be, there's three things that you're going to always have to remain intact. And yes, they'll be challenged. And yes, you may get away from those things. They may be pushed to the limit, and you may have to go to him, and he may have to, start you over from scratch in terms of those things. But ultimately, you're going to have these things in your arsenal by his grace, of course, regardless of any and everything that you may face, encounter, anything that you may set out to achieve, overcome, etc., etc. Now, these three things, guys, they fall under the umbrella and are actually in some ways actually synonymous with things like, faith, love, courage, all these high vibrational frequencies that we carry as his children. So they're in some ways, they're a different way to or a different aspect of those things. Again, faith, courage, love. But I'm going to put them in a box that's more, humanistic, if you will, and not so spiritual. Because we need these things, again, on a spiritual level, no doubt, but we also need these things to be present, and we need to exhibit and behold these things on a physical plane, no matter what, as well. So we're going to get off into three of those three things that I'm talking about. But I want to make a quick mention. If you haven't watched the three videos that I just posted, I believe there's three chapters on it, where it talks about how to spot and how to deal with narcissists. This is in some way seguative of that, in that, these are the things that the narcissist, and again, as I mentioned in those videos, how to spot and deal with narcissists. These are the things that the narcissists, the disciples of darkness, the negative people, the people that are committed to disruption and they're opposed to harmony, the people that are committed to all these different things, whether it's racism, whether it's thugging, they're just committed to being negative. So whatever word you want to fill in the blank with, maybe swap that word out with narcissists. Some people may call them just sinners of the world, whatever the case may be. Those people, these are the three things that they attack the most. These are the things that offends them the most. And these are the things that ultimately, by his grace and authority, that ultimately defeats them the most. These are three essentials all across the board. So again, if you want to keep these things intact, pardon me, up to an optimal level, and not be kind of driving down the highway with your emergency brake on, as best you can, you want to get the narcissistic people out of your life. As I mentioned in those three videos that I just referenced, sometimes you have to deal with these people. Maybe you're in a long-term business contract Maybe you're still in marriage and you're trying to navigate how that's going to unfold. Maybe they're your parents, your children, whatever the case may be. You may have to deal with these people. And even if it's not under those kinds of circumstances, you may have to deal with these people just because they're on the job, just because they're a neighbor that you see all the time, just because they're always the person at the grocery store when you go there, whatever. If we hand our heart honest, we know that most people have been overwhelmed or have consciously chosen to be a part of that dark-hearted culture. So if you want to keep the things that I'm about to mention operating at a premium, try to do your absolute best to avoid those kinds of negative people. And if you have to deal with them appropriately and in an effective way. Because again, their ultimate target is the things that I'm about to mention. Again, these things that I'm about to mention are synonymous with faith and love and courage and all those different things. But again, it's important that even in the situations or circumstances where maybe you can't, for whatever reason, subtract or remove that person from your life or remove yourself from that person or group of people's lives, it's important that you sever the energetic connection. That's what's of premium importance here. The energetic / the spiritual connection that can be established, or maybe that you did have established with these people. And then if and when God decides that, he wants to move you forward in terms of separating physically, he'll do so. But there may be some people that no matter what in your life, kids, grandkids, you can still, according to his plan, go to him and see if it's okay for you to still help these people, assist these people. You don't have to become mean-spirited, turn your back on them, any of those things. But you do want to make sure that you're doing, if you're going to continue to help these people, you stay guarded up and you stay prayed up and make sure that he is saying that it's okay for you to do so. Because there may be times, people, situations, and circumstances where he just says, no, don't help them at all. Leave them just like that. Don't feel guilty about it. You're not abandoning them, but this is their righteous divine judgment and it's meant for them. So no, don't help them. And that's helping them with encouragement, with prayer, with finances, whatever, however that works out. But that's between you and him. He uses, fellowship, prayer, meditation, worship, and all that different stuff to reveal those answers to you situationally as you go. But keep in mind that the reason that's one of the main reasons why you need to be able to spot these people and how to be able to deal with them appropriately, effectively, and efficiently, because they're after these three things. So what are these three things? These are three things, guys, that if I couldn't tell my children nothing else other than these three things, if I was for some type of way or in some type of regards limited to, hey, you can only teach or show or instill three basic things in the lives of your children. In the lives of, I say children because obviously that's what's most dear to all of us, obviously those of us who have a clear heart. But that's what resonates when it comes to, hey man, listen, when it comes to legacy, when it comes to somebody that I really truly care about, it's kind of hard to top off, your children and perhaps children and parents. But if I could only leave them three things, I would leave them and tell them and encourage them to, no matter what happens, no matter what fire you're going through, no matter how many mistakes you've made, no matter, how many obstacles you're facing, no matter what your situation, always be confident. Always be confident. That's if you were at the top and fell all the way to the bottom, or you've been on the bottom and you've been trying for years to get to the top. Whatever the bottom and the top looks like in all these different situations and scenarios of life. Always be confident. Always be confident. If you're going out on your first date, if you've been in a relationship for 30, 40 years and it's time to separate, whatever the case may be, if you're going on a job interview, if there's somebody talking bad to you, trying to physically bully you or stand in your way about, when it comes to your God-given purpose, no matter what the situation and circumstances. And the list goes on and on and on. But the point being, no matter what the situation and circumstances, and no matter what the environment is, whether you got people cheering you on or people rooting against you, always be confident. And I mean confident in a way that's modest, that's humble, that's low key, but that's stern, definite, and unwavering as well. Without confidence, guys, it's hard to really get anything done. Without that confidence, that girl, that guy on that first date, they're going to pick up on that. Same thing if you go on that interview. You could have skills up the wazoo. That employer, that the person that's doing that interview, they're going to pick up on that lack of confidence. And if you don't believe that you can get her done, if you don't believe that no matter what, you're going to be okay, then it's kind of hard for you to actually get her done and be okay. You comprehend? So always having that confidence, guys. And again, that's why I always leave my email link down in the description box, because sometimes we like to think that we're confident, and sometimes we can be situationally confident. But when it comes down to the come down, sometimes maybe, just maybe, you or myself or whoever, we're not, the confidence isn't there like we would like for it to be, or like we can intend or pretend that it is. But please know that in order for you to get anything done in life, it starts with confidence. No matter what, if you're not confident it's going to be okay, if you're not confident that you can do it, if you're not confident that you can bounce back, if you're not confident that you can navigate the field, overcome your mistakes, learn from the lesson and become better, if you're not confident, then you're really, really up against it. Period. Point blank. Case closed. End of discussion. Forget about it. Full stop. Can I be more clearer? Okay, now, and the same thing is true when it comes to the other two things that I'm about to mention. In my opinion, in my research, my study, my expertise, all these different things, in my actual real world experience, you're going to need all these things. And without these things, you're either not going to get it done or you're going to get something done, but it may not necessarily be what you intended. And you may get what you want, but you might not want what you get. So that's secretive of the next point, which is you have to always be optimistic. If I could tell my children or teach them, again, only three things, you have to always be optimistic in life. The situation, the circumstances, the potential outcomes, the heartaches, the headaches, you have to be optimistic, and you can see how these words are interchangeable with the words that we use when it comes to our faith. Whatever your faith, religion, spiritual teachings may be, you can see how these things are interchangeable. But at the same time, again, we have to apply these things to a physical existence, because we're spirit beings, yes, but we are having a physical experience. So when it comes to, your journey in life, you're going to have to be optimistic. There's going to be times, there's going to be situations, people, circumstances, heartaches, minefields, all kinds of things that's going to put your optimism to a test. It's going to put it there. It's going to be tested, and it's going to be tested beyond all measure. And unfortunately, if we were to peer or look out, at the broad society, we can see that this is one of the main things that most people have. This is the main thing that most people are lacking when it comes to them having succumbed to narcissism and evil, dark, mean-spirited practices to begin with. They've lost their optimism. When they look down that tunnel, all they see is darkness. There's no optimism. So what's the point, a lot of people have decided? What's the point in being good when they see all the bad people getting the promotions? What's the point in being integrous when they see all the bad people getting the guy, the girl, the money, whatever the case may be? What's the point? They've lost all sense of optimism in their personal lives. Hey, listen, what's the point of trying to work on this or be better? What's the point in trying to save money when they see the economy and they're already working 40, 50 hours a week? Whatever the case may be, People have lost their optimism. I get a lot of clients that are astounded by how much weight they could actually lose and how relatively easy, I'm not saying it's easy, it's hard work, but how relatively easy it is when compared to the fact that they had no hope, they had no thought that they could even get her done. They had zero optimism going into their training. And if you guys are familiar with the ministry, if you've done any research when it comes to the physical fitness branch of the ministry, you know that that's one of the 5 pillars of health and wellness that this ministry is founded on: motivation, optimism, understanding nutrition, and training. That's MOUNT. But so you got to have that optimism, guys. Without it, it's kind of hard to push forward in fixing that relationship, in being a better person, in saving your money, in investing, in continuing to be a good person, whatever the case may be. There's a story that they did a while back. If you guys have heard me say this once, you've probably heard me refer to it 1,000 times. There was a study that the scientists did quite a while back, and they put a rat in a tub in a giant pool of water where the rat couldn't climb out of the sides, and they left him in there. He couldn't do nothing but stand in the water, and they turned the lights out. They were able to monitor him and left him in the pitch black and turned the lights out. The rat swam for about 15 or 20 minutes before it gave up and died. Then they did the same thing with a different rat, same exact situation, turned the lights out, but instead what they did was they left a tiny, tiny flashlight on the other side of the room and placed it in front of the rat. That rat swam for almost 3 days, 20 minutes compared to 3 days, before ultimately the rat just didn't have the physical capacity to go any longer. But it swam. It kept pushing forward. And that's because when that rat was able to look into his future, no matter how dim, no matter how bleak, no matter how challenging, there was hope, there was optimism. He saw a light, a potential light at the end of the tunnel, and he swam and he swam and he swam and he swam. That's the potency of having optimism in all areas of your life and in any and everything you do, you set out to do, you're trying to accomplish, you're trying to overcome. Whatever the case may be, you're going to need optimism. The final thing, guys, is, of course, authenticity. Again, the enemy is attacking these things. The enemy knows that if you can be destabilized in these areas, then the enemy's job is 3/4 of the way done. If you don't have confidence, if you're not optimistic, and you're not standing up in your God-given authenticity, then the enemy, again, 3/4 of his work has been done, because you are actually submitting to the 3/4 of the enemy's work actually being done. You're contributing to that. You're fostering that. You're nourishing that. You're actually bringing that forward because you don't have the confidence, the optimism, or the authenticity. And authenticity is enormously important, guys. When you're walking in your God-given authenticity, you attract and you repel the things that are meant for you and the things that are not meant for you. This includes the jobs, the careers, the people, the situation, the circumstances, the engagements, etc., etc. It's only when you deviate from who it is that you truly are, and I mean who you are truly in your heart, not who your parents raised you to be, not who society thinks you should be, not even what your religion tells you should be. Because God moves irrespective of all of those things. God has created you to be who and what He wants you to be. And that supersedes, that transcends anything about what religion says you should be, your parents, your society, your financial upbringing, your education. Many people are locked into jobs, careers, relationships, and a whole host of other situations and circumstances. They're locked into that. And they ended up walking into that and being locked into it as a result of them not being authentic, as a result of them saying, you know what, hey, I really want this guy or this girl for my spouse. So I'm going to fake smile. I'm going to, not put out the true me. I'm just going to try to match up with this person. And what a bitter end, because ultimately they end up being resentful of themselves and the person that they chose to do all that for. It may even be unbeknownst to the person that they did all of that for. But smiling at jokes that weren't funny, dancing on music they didn't like, visiting vacation resorts that they despised, all these kinds of things, well, they surrendered / committed suicide of their God-given authenticity, and they ushered in a life that was never meant for them in the first place. And it's their fault, it's their responsibility, but they will blame you. So don't be that guy, don't be that girl. Always walk in your God-given authenticity. Hey, listen, I really want this job. I really want this career. I really want the money that it brings. But you know what? What I'll have to do is I'll have to smile in people's faces that I don't like, people that I know are conniving on me. I have to go outside of what I really, really believe when it comes to my morals, my integrity, my principles. And I have to go outside of me when it comes to just me being me. Like if they find out that I'm not a racist, I wouldn't get the position. If they find out that, I'm not really a thug, I might not get the position. Whatever the case may be, I'm just trying to characterize some different scenarios that you can say, okay, wow, this is how potent authenticity is. You end up, by not being authentic, you end up with careers, all kinds of people in your lives, living arrangements, circumstances that were never meant for you. You unconsciously chose that as a result of you surrendering your God-given authenticity. You is good enough. You is good enough for you to achieve, for you to attain, for you to attract the people, the situations, and circumstances that's meant for you. You don't have to be anybody more. You don't have to be anybody less. You don't have to be, you don't need anybody's validation. You don't need anybody's confirmation. You don't need anybody's empathy, their approval, nothing. Now, we all need to be, flexible and, be thoughtful and considerate of other people and our careers and all these different things, but not at the expense of our God-given authenticity. So authenticity, hey, it's good enough. If you show up, that guy, that girl doesn't like you, it wasn't meant to be. If you show up walking in your God-given authenticity, again, you can be flexible. That's a part of negotiating and navigating this thing we call life. But you never do that at the expense of your authenticity. If that guy, that girl doesn't like you, that job doesn't fit, what it is that aligns up with who you truly are, then it just wasn't meant to be. Stay true to your God-given authenticity, and the guy, the girl, the job, the career, all these different things that are meant for you will show up. You don't have to deviate from your God-given authenticity. So in a nutshell, guys, those are the three things that us, particularly those of us who carry the light, these are the things that we have to have intact no matter what. Again, there'll be situations that will test your commitment to your God-given authenticity. There'll be situations, circumstances, and opportunity that will be very enticing for you to just discard who you are. Don't walk like that anymore. Don't smile like that anymore. Don't be confident like that anymore. Don't be humble like that anymore. You have to bristle up and put on this mask, because if not, they're not going to welcome you into that circle, whatever the case may be. There'll be situations and opportunities that will test your authenticity, or shall I say, your commitment to your God-given authenticity. Again, situations, circumstances abroad that will test your optimism. Again, you keep getting up, you keep falling, you keep making the same mistakes. You keep trying to lose the weight, whatever the case may be. Buy a new home, any kind of scenario you can imagine. It's been tried and tested. And once you surrender and give up that optimism, then what real chance do you really have of getting it done? And that walks hand in hand when it comes to your confidence. You know, people are going to laugh at you. They're going to talk about you. They're going to mock you. They're going to ridicule you. They're going to put you down. They're going to excommunicate your business. They're going to badmouth you. They're going to be killjoys, naysayers, and all these different things in an effort. And sometimes, again, to go back to what I said about the narcissist, sometimes in a very deliberate way to rob you of those things. And even though in the big picture they can't rob you, but they try to apply so much pressure and so much chicanery to ultimately you end up surrendering your confidence. So never surrender your confidence. Hey, I don't care if I fell down 139,000 times. I just have to get up 139,001 times. So keep your confidence, keep your hope, keep your faith, keep all those things intact. Definitely keep your optimism and your authenticity intact. If you'd like some information about some specific things that this ministry can help you implement in your day-to-day existence to help you make sure that you are being confident, you're not being overconfident, you're not being arrogant, how you can be optimistic without being willy-nilly, Pollyannic, pie in the sky about everything, and how you can maintain your God-given authenticity without feeling like you can't grow, you can't evolve, you can't change. If you'd like some information from this ministry, I'd love to assist you in those or any regards for that matter. Now, let me get to the closing, guys, and that is, hey, listen, this ministry is not based on religion. This ministry, although I trace the roots of this religion and myself back to religion, although I do trace the roots and the origins of this ministry back to religion, this ministry is not handcuffed or limited by religion. In fact, this ministry is promoting a holistic mind, body, and spirit path to life, to health and wellness, and to running the race that he has set before each of us and all of us collectively. This ministry utilizes services that include experiential-based philosophical consultative services to strengthen and nourish the mind, ISSA certified fitness training to strengthen and nourish the body, and clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices to nourish and strengthen the spirit and the soul. Additional services in which this holistic approach is also implemented consist of good old-fashioned motivational speaking, as well as youth and young adult mentoring and counseling, all of which are catered to the individual or the group of individuals, if you will, if they're in the same environment and they like more of a unified approach to whatever it is they're seeking to achieve in those particular areas. Pardon me. So, please visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. And if you'd like some more specific information about these services, what they consist of, how they're implemented, and how they can be beneficial to you, then please watch a video that's titled MBS Service Tutorial. If you have any questions, if you'd like to schedule your initial consultation and evaluation in any or all of the aforementioned services, I'm going to leave an email link down in the description box. Now, when it comes to what makes me different, non-traditional when it comes to being a minister itself, hey, please watch a video that's titled My Testimony and Disclosure. It's a very important video because you may be turned off by that video, or you may be inspired and motivated by the message and the testimony of that video. I like to think that most of you guys, I'm confident that most of you guys who really, really, truly carry the light and still believe in this thing that we call God, then you guys are going to resonate with that. That testimony and disclosure is going to resonate with you. You're going to be inspired to look at your own story and your own testimony. You may even be inspired to assist this ministry in whatever way that you can, because it is a total reminder that he is still on the throne and he's still performing miracles. So check those two videos out. Again, if you have any questions, hit that email link down in the description box. And that's what makes this ministry different. That's what makes me different as a minister. So let me close by asking you guys the two questions that I ask each and every day. And I don't want you guys to ever get tired of it. I want you guys to really, really take the time out, split second that it takes to really, really answer the question, and then follow up accordingly. Did you get something out of today's message? Was there any value in it whatsoever? Second question is, do you think that possibly, just maybe, there's an opportunity for someone else on this planet who could get benefit and value out of today's message? Because as you know, the YouTube is global. If your answer to either of those questions is yes, then please don't procrastinate. Start by hitting the share button. Take this message, share it forward, and allow this message to provide benefit and value to someone, please. Also, please hit the like button and the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. That way you help grow the ministry by way of the YouTube algorithm. And then also hit the bell icon if you'd like to receive a notification when I upload a new message. Another question is, hey, listen, if this ministry resonates with you and you'd like to, and Heavenly Father inspires you to make a monetary donation, the question is, why wait? Don't procrastinate, guys. Procrastination is the enemy of progression. We all know that. And if the Holy Spirit moves you to actually make a monetary donation to help support me moving this ministry forward, to help me being able to spend more time in research, prayer, meditation, implementation of all these different things, observation of all these things, taking these things and putting them through the ringers of real life scenarios and circumstances before I present these videos to you. It's all vetted. I do hold myself accountable to you guys, and there's a lot to go. There's a lot that goes in it. And hey, listen, I know it's my responsibility. I know it's my calling, so I'm not complaining, not even a little bit. I'm simply saying, if you'd like to help me be able to spend more time doing these things, then please don't procrastinate when it comes to making a monetary donation. And please remember that no amount is too small. Whatever good seed that you plant into this ministry, monetary, sharing the video, helping the ministry out by subscribing, all this good stuff. He's promised that when you help somebody, if and when you find yourself in a situation where you need someone to help you, he's promised he'll make sure that someone is available. And so whatever seed that you plant into this ministry, may you, according to according to his riches in heaven, receive your abundant harvest according to his promise. May you receive it shaken down, pressed together, and running over. And that's what I got for you guys. I'm going to get out of here. I did a pretty good job at keeping this roughly at 30 minutes. So I will not tarry. I'll get out of here, but not before, as always, encouraging you guys to always live a life that literally prioritizes faith over fear, truth over tradition, knowledge over nonsense, love over lust, and people over profit. That's what I got for you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Go out there. Make sure that no matter what, with prayer, meditation, good old-fashioned fellowship, research, study, whatever you need to do, keep your optimism, keep your confidence, and keep your authenticity intact at all times. And you will achieve, and you'll achieve in the way that it's meant for you to achieve, according to his will. That's what I got for y'all. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and I will holler back. Peace.